So in my gym custom video, that's a Spartan, not a custom, I said to expect more Gunpla videos. While that is true, I still bought some Transformers. The focus of today's review being one of them. And there's also quite an interesting one, which for some reason, a lot of the modern iterations of this character tend to be. And also controversial for some reason. Not as much as animated B, but still a fair amount. And that is this guy right over here. Studio Series 86B, and my 5th B in my collection. Is that a sign of a problem? I'm not sure. To start things off, this right over here, not being an exclusive, is already better than the Netflix version. That meant no scalping bastards overcharging by 100% for deluxe that parts forms. The parts forming being the cherry on top. Back to the actual figure, this is a pretty good modernization of the old 80s G1 design. In my personal opinion, that design was lame, and anything that shortens his torso is a win in my books. The chunky feet also help. Speaking of them, while it may look like they will roll around with the feet, they have been designed with these flaps right over here that raises it just enough to prevent the wheels from rolling effectively. You can try, but you need to get them at a certain angle, and it's not something that you're gonna do consistently. Another point I like to make is the relatively few amount of hollow parts being shown. Like, just a quick spin of this guy, because I don't have a turntable, you don't really notice anything. Now, sure, you get them on the arms and feet, but everywhere else isn't noticeable, and the ones on display are small enough to not register in your mind that much. Hollow parts don't personally bother me, but it's still neat to see. Like this part right over here. It might look like a hollow part, but it doesn't really feel like a hollow part due to, well, all the internals inside making up for it. But I really do like this part right over here. The rear wheels having mechanical detailing behind them is such a nice touch, and it's on the side profile of B, something that barely anyone cares for, but the added detailing here, nice. Head sculpt is as G1B as you could get, with a serious, no fun attitude being displayed on the face. Quite the opposite of his more jovial personality from the G1 cartoon and the recent TF1 movie. Maybe. I still haven't watched it. A stark contrast to the previous Deluxe B with his cocky smile. Although the light blue eyes and silver face are painted well for my copy. Also, here is the size comparison. Roughly the same. So, yeah. Now, one of the plus sides of the Earthrise Cliff Jumper mode is the stellar articulation. This has a similar amount. The head, ball jointed for full rotations, relatively tight with some minor tilting of up, down, side to side. The shoulders, as you can see here, are also ball jointed to do the exact same thing as the head with full T-posing action. You got a 90-degree elbow bend with a click and a swivel with wrist rotations due to them being mushroom pegged. Interesting. And of course, you also get a waist swivel. You got lots of forward and backwards leg movement. You also got your thigh swivel, a 90-degree knee bend that might be a bit of a pain to get because you might move the feet instead, but it is a 90-degree, and I think it's like soft ratcheted. Yeah, it is. You can do the side split, but angle pivot can't really make the full use of it, but is still good. Meaning you can do this much and be a bit of a doofus. And to round things out, downwards feet pivot due to transformation. That does sort of make bending the knee a bit of a pain, like I already mentioned. With all those points of movement, shooting with his singular accessory, that's right, singular, a well-painted silver gun are possible. Just like so. Very simple, and there we go. Simple but effective. And with that, to car mode. The conversion is simple to do, but fun to play with. Unfolding the rear wheels, accordioning the legs, similar to the Core Class B right over here, but more refined, obviously. The resulting vehicle I can only describe as adorable, like the Core Class. And the animated take. Well, I guess this one's a bit more cool-ish, like a early 2000s riced up car kind of way. Back to this guy. With the Penny Racer Beetle being the base, it was inevitable that it would happen. This fun-sized car has cues from the VW Beetle, mostly the front, but is its own thing because licensing is a pain. Say hi to Mirage. In this form, the paint takes center stage, with the bumpers looking like grey molded plastic due to multiple coats of paint, I assume. Like, they're going once, twice, all that stuff. The same can't be said, however, for the A and B pillars of the car. On camera, they might sort of look the same, but in real life, they are just really, really different. But I have heard that it's due to space constraints on the molds, so it's understandable. Disappointing, but understandable. The disappearing and reappearing of the Autobot badge on the bonnet is a nice reference to the 80s cartoon and how inconsistent they were, especially with colors. Anyways, all wheels being pinned means rolling is superb. So like this guy over here. And half of this guy. Interesting enough, all the Bs I have right here have pinned wheels, mostly. Weapon storage could be better. Now you can plug the gun at the back with the tab, so you can do this, but there is enough room for the blaster at the back. Now you can just unpeg the entire back and just stuff it in there, and just close this thing up. And there we go, one blaster under the car. A more proper execution of this method would be nice because the Core Class has got it beat in that department. How exactly would they do it? Well, maybe like a tab or a slot right over here, or they would have to be diagonal because this is the only place you can get it and no space. But you could just do a circular port instead. They can just angle it. There are options, but they went with that instead, and it's not a deal breaker. I'm just gonna say that. So to summarize, SS86B is objectively a good transformer. At full deluxe price though, that might be a tough sell. It's the same situation with Legacy Animated B. I mean, for a bit of context, here is Deluxe Cybertron Hotshot. And yeah, ain't that something else? However, if you are on the fence, this comes. This guy, if I remember correctly, will always be restocked on retail shelves no matter what. And Christmas is coming, so there'll probably be a discount sale going on for like a lot of stuff, and this might be one of them. So just be patient, and if you see a inflated price, don't go for it. Always don't go for inflated prices, especially the Netflix B. Anyways, the 86 line of minibots are killing it though with this and Brawn. Makes you wonder what a wind charger looked like. Will probably be shot up because the only time he showed up was dead. As a corpse. At least this guy had some screen time. Anyways, that is all for this review. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you in the next one.